Haskell, of course, a Grade 1 race of 108th for 3-year-olds, $1 million purse. Dick, Maximum Security is back. It's his home track, Jason's Service. You get 4 to 5 the price. Now, last time out when he came back for the Pegasus, he was 5 cents on the dollar. And we did stumble at the start. We know he lost the Pegasus, and it's hard to say just how much that stumble affected the outcome.
Well, Jason said afterwards he thinks he would have won without the stumble. We'll obviously never know. And look, the one in here, King for a Day, he was ridden differently in that race because they wanted him right up there with him because he was on the outside. But yeah, we'll never know what would have happened. But all I know is he's back and he's odds on again. Maximum Security.
Dick, King for a Day is the second choice here at 5-2 for trainer Todd Pletcher. He did upset him in the Pegasus, so he ran the race of his life. The question is he moving forward or is he about to take a step back?
Yeah, I thought it unlikely that would happen again. Not impossible, but unlikely, especially given the post switch this time. Maximum Security was to the outside. King for a Day was to the inside, so terms were going to get dictated by Luis Saez and Maximum Security.
Batford comes east with Mucho Gusto at 3-1, and Dick, as you mentioned last week, 8 Haskell wins. This horse, however, has never been out of Southern California, his first road trip.
Yeah, and he's the B horse for Batford, which is always still good. I mean, but he wasn't a horse that was pointed for the Derby, and typically those are the Haskell horses that come in here. But he's getting better, and it's Haskell Buck.
And 2 locals, Spun to Run for Carlos Guerrero, Bethlehem Road for D. Curry. Spun to Run was 34-1. Bethlehem Road was 42-1.
I made a couple of bets. I made a head-to-head bet, Spun to Run against Everfast, who I thought was a total fraud. They had that up in the sports book. And I made a couple of try-bets using Spun to Run because I had a half-hour conversation with Carlos that I wrote about on Let's Go Racing Parks.com this week. He was so enthusiastic about this horse. I said, you know what? I think I need to use him here. So I did.
4 to 5 on Maximum Security. Here's the call.
And they're off in the TVG.com Haskell Invitational. Maximum Security comes out running, so does Bethlehem Road, and King for a Day protecting the rail down on the inside. Spun to Run is fourth and urged on through the opening eighth of a mile. Mucho Gusto settles about 3 lengths off the lead, and it is a long way back to Everfast. King for a Day comes through on the inside of Bethlehem Road. They are head and head, but Bethlehem Road is a little bit quicker and now leads by a half length. King for a Day at the rail is in second. Then comes Maximum Security inching up. Mucho Gusto is right behind Maximum Security, and inside of him comes Spun to Run. They're covered by 2.5 lengths, 8 lengths in front of Everfast. They're heading toward the half-mile pole. In the TVG.com Haskell Invitational, King for a Day at the rail, Bethlehem Road in between them, and Maximum Security. Mucho Gusto has to go 4 wide, but he's less than a length off the lead, and Spun to Run is just inside of him. It's a dozen to Everfast, and now these two square off again, Maximum Security and King for a Day. Mucho Gusto joins the party with a big run on the outside, and now Mucho Gusto is right up to Maximum Security. King for a Day just checks sharply. Spun to Run, running a big race in third, but it's Mucho Gusto and Maximum Security. Maximum Security cuts the corner. Mucho Gusto is going to make him work. Maximum Security has his mind on business. He leads by a half length. Mucho Gusto trying so hard to go by. Maximum Security just in front. Mucho Gusto valiant, but Maximum Security has won the TVG.com Haskell Invitational.
Well, Dick, Maximum Security, this was not an easy trip. There was pressure up front. He turns away that pressure. Then here comes Mucho Gusto. And Dick, he's got some run.
Yes, he does.
He's strong. He's coming. Maximum Security, however, digs in, will not be denied. Wins the race a length and a quarter, pays $3.60 to win. Mucho Gusto was second. And Dick, Spun to Run for Carlos finishes third. Heck of an effort. Talk about the winner.
Yeah, we'll talk about Maximum Security, Keith. I thought he was great. You just described it, all those things that happened during the race. He got a 102 buyer. Jason's Service, boy, did he ever deserve this kind of a win after what happened in Kentucky. He said after, I thought we were robbed. I'm pretty clear what I thought about that. I'm with him. And the fact that he's been at Monmouth Park, he was a valet at the jocks room for over 20 years. And now he's training and he's got the horse of his life at his home track. So it was very cool to see that happen. And then Carlos's horse is interesting. He told me this horse loves to take dirt. He loves to sit behind. When they were training him and they put the blinkers on since his last race, he was talking about running him in the Preakness. He was so high on him. Then he had to have the throat operation. He said afterwards, Paco Lopez said, if I hadn't tipped out on the turn and just waited behind a little longer, he wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to be second. He said I would have been closer, third. He was beating 8 lengths for second. But I thought he ran great, and we'll see him next on Labor Day. He's coming to the Smarty Jones.
Well, Dick, this is a big race for the Service family.
For sure.
And they were all watching, and here's more. Well, Dick, Jason Service, there'll be no ever getting over the disappointment with the Kentucky Derby, but this was not a bad consolation prize for him.
And it was where there was the inquiry sign that was lit up for like less than a minute. King for a Day steadied a little bit on the turn where he was next to maximum security, but he was already going backward at that point.
Right.
And I said to somebody, there is no way. And I mean, think about it. Dennis Drazen runs the racetrack. Right. He's also the lawyer that's involved in the lawsuit with maximum security on their side. Right. I said, I don't think they're DQing this horse, nor should he.